All right, Barak, Shalaki, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakodash. Double honesty, apostles and elders, a great millstone, and salutations to you brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth. All right, so here's another video. I'm going to entitle this "Spiritually Dissecting an Edomite's Commentary." Okay, because here's another article via blog. It's called "You're Not Losing Your Mind, Everyone Else Is." It's published August 2019. It's authored by Michael Krieger via the Liberty Blitz blog. Okay, so we'll go into the Liberty Blitz blog real quick. Now here's the Edomite's commentary. Okay, now he has a quote from Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities, and it goes like this. It says, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief, it was the epic of incredulity." Now, I'll get a precept real quick, but that word incredulity means unbelief. It says, "It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only." So this is a significant excerpt from Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. Okay, and we can clearly see that, look, this is the best of times and it's the worst of times. Best of times for the Israelites because what? Like the scriptures say, let's get it real quick. Let's see. Where is it? Is it 7? Let me see if it's 7. Give me 1 second. Let me just put it in here real quick. Give me a second. It's in Ecclesiastes. I know I will get all of these. Yeah, I was right in the chapter. Yep. Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. It says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit." Yeah, because with the Lord, it's 2 and 2. Just like in that Charles Dickens excerpt, but it says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof." And what? We're coming into the end of one and the beginning of another. Let's go to real quick. Let's go to Second Ezra 6 and about the 7th chapter. The 7th verse. Real quick. This is Second Ezra 6 verse 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." That's why you having all of these Edomites writing these different type of articles. And when they write these articles via blacklistednews.com, they're basically in perplexity, in a state of confusion. They know what's going on, but they can't accept the reality that this is the end of their kingdom. Okay, that's why it's better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Okay, we're living in the time of the end of Esau Edom society, and Esau is bringing it upon his own self. Okay, by his unrighteous dealings. Let's go to another precept real quick. I put a few scriptures down, but I'm going to go into a few other scriptures, and our Lord's will I can keep this under maybe 35 minutes. But this is Sirach 10. Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, so we're coming into the time because of the unrighteous dealings of Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man. Okay, the red Hebrew Edomite. Okay, his unrighteous dealings, his injuries that he's caused, and his riches gotten by deceit, mainly Amalek. Okay, because Amalek is behind this thing pulling strings. Amalek is the wicked. Okay, and we'll show you at the end the quotes of Amalek. Okay, they basically boast in their wickedness. Okay, all right. So it says, because of the unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing things fall apart. Okay, things are falling apart for Esau Edom. The paradigm is shifting. Okay, the Israelites are waking up to who they are, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and all the riches, okay, that have been gotten by deceit. All right, you're having negative impacts, okay, on the earth, okay, in the world. People are doing things, all right, because of the wickedness, all right, that has been gotten by deceit. The riches that have been gotten by deceit. Okay, so that was the Charles Dickens quote. Okay, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. The whole world is in darkness, but the men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua have the light. Okay, which is Yahweh Shah. All right. It says we had everything before us, we had nothing before us. Yeah, you got all types of technologies and all types of comforts and stuff like that, but yet you have nothing before you because you don't have the wisdom, understanding of the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You don't have peace. Okay, you don't have sound comfort. All right. It says we were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way. Okay. In short, the period, okay, was so far like the present period that some of his noises authorities insisted on it being received for good or for evil. Now let's get into this article real quick. Okay, by this guy Michael Krieger. Okay, this is Edomite's commentary. Okay, which we're going to spiritually dissect with scriptures. Okay, now it says you're not losing your mind, everybody else is. Things are crazy and getting crazier. Something must be done. Somebody please do something. If paying attention to global events overwhelms and results in a combined sense of dread, concern, and bewilderment, you're not alone. Okay, so the average person that doesn't have the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay, is overwhelmed, okay, and dreads the news, okay, and is bewildered. All right, let's look up the word bewildered. All right, the word bewildered, caused to be perplexed and confused, because there's a lot of things that's happening and people are confused. Okay, people don't know what's going on. All right, that's why this scripture right here we bring out, classic scripture, is very, very vital in the time that we coming into, and it's going to be more so manifest in the days when this actually takes place. This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So you're going to find a very precious treasure in the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And having the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to be your stability. Why? Because the more things, the closer and closer we get to the destruction that's going to come, the more and more people are going to be overwhelmed, okay, bewildered, all right, concerned, okay, and they're not going to know what's going on. They're not going to have the answers. But the men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we have the comforter. All right. And it was a very important thing for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua to have Yahushua leave us with the comforter. Okay. Because this is going to be our stability. It says it's not simply because humans have more access to more information than ever before that you feel this way. There does appear to be a quickening in the pace of unfolding of humanity's latest chapter. Okay, so everybody is alarmed. Okay, even these Edomites, they're alarmed. You got AMTV. He puts up videos. Okay, you got vote and if these people are alarmed, you know Vocab Malone, you know they're scared. You know all these men that come up against the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right, they're scared, man. Okay, because they can't deny this. Okay, they can't deny the prophecies. All right, so when I read that real quick, I'm gonna read it again. It says, it's not simply because humans have more access to more information than ever before that you feel this way. There does not appear to be a quickening in the pace of the unfolding of humanity. Now that scripture, the scripture that came to mind is right here in Daniel's 12 and Daniel's 12 and 4, and I'm gonna jump down to 10 or 11. This is Daniel 12 and 4. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And this guy confirmed it. He confirmed that knowledge is increased. Okay, knowledge is being increased. Okay, yet they can't get it. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the full extent of what's going on. Okay, there's a transformation of power that's playing out right before them, and they don't understand it. Bringing me to Daniel's 12 and 10, it says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Yeah, because we understand why these things are happening. We're not in perplexity. Okay, we're not bewildered. Okay, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, if he's feeding us with his understanding, so that we be comforted in that day. All right, and we know all things. The Lord said, I have given you an unction from the Holy One that ye know all things. All right, so we understand the prophecies, and we're watching them take place. All of these global events that's taking place is going to lead up to the coming destruction, the coming transfer of power that Yahweh Shah is going to bring. Okay, it says everything. Let me see. It says going back to it, it says things are genuinely falling apart, but things are always falling apart. Likewise, things are always being built and created, right? Because of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. When you go into it real quick, it says it's a season. All right, it says to everything, this is Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, it says to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right, and goes into those different times and seasons of things, you know, that are done under the sun. Okay, it says likewise things are always being built and created. Governments come and governments go, as do global empires and monetary systems. Everything is dying and being born all at once, constantly, forever. This will not change. Okay, well, things is going to change. Okay, because once this kingdom goes down, the kingdom of Babylon the Great, okay, controlled by you Edomites, okay, and which you Amalekites are heads over. Once this kingdom goes down, this is going to take place. This is Daniel 7 and 14. It says, and there was given him dominion and glory. And who was given that dominion and glory? When you read up, speaking of Yahweh Shah, okay, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So Yahweh Shah's kingdom, okay, which is the kingdom of the Israelites, okay, which is get ready to come, okay? When you go right here back to Second Ezra 6:9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth." All right, the Jacob that is the beginning that followeth. Okay, it's basically a fulfillment of Daniel 7:14. It says, "And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed." Okay, so things are constantly changing, but what when Yahweh Shah gets into power, that's not going to change. That's going to be a constant. Okay, that's not going to change. Now let's go to the another paragraph. It says, "That said, there are periods in history when the entire paradigm you've been accustomed to living under changes rather abruptly and for good." And that's what we're coming into. We're coming into a paradigm shift. Now, when you go into the word paradigm, it's dealing with example or pattern example. Okay, so the current pattern of Esau being in rulership is getting ready to change, and it's going to come abruptly. Okay, that paradigm shift that people have been accustomed to, our people used to living up under Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That time is going to change, where we're not going to stay upon him that smote us. Okay, meaning we're not going to be forced to be up under the policies of Esau, Edom, crying about white supremacy and how we going to come together and all the policies, unjust policies under Esau, Edom. All right, that time that we're accustomed, it says that said, there are periods in history when the entire paradigm you've been accustomed to living under changes rather abruptly. All right, and this paradigm that we're living under is going to change rather abruptly, but it's going to be so abrupt that nuclear missiles are going to destroy this place, man, in 60 minutes. That's going to be an abrupt paradigm shift. All right, and for good. All right, it says a change of this nature alters the entire game on a global basis and happens perhaps once in a lifetime. All right, so let's go to this just popped in my head. Let's go to the book of Revelation 18, and I want to go to verse let's start at verse 4 and read down real quick. This is Revelation 18 verse 4, and it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Yeah, because plagues are coming to America, plagues are coming to Babylon the Great, and throughout the whole earth. It says, Revelation 18 and 5, it says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquity. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." Yeah, because when her paradigm, her pattern, all right, going back to the word paradigm, her pattern, her example, show side by side. Her example, all right, was jacking us up as a people. All right, putting forth all types of hell and all types of wicked policies upon our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, but guess what? The paradigm is going to shift, okay? And she is going to be brought into destruction. Let me jump down to verse. Let me jump down to verse 16. This is Revelation 18 and 16. It says, matter of fact, it says, "And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood far off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So that paradigm, okay, that's going to change, okay, in 1 hour. All right. In 1 hour, things are going to change, okay? All right. It says everything is dying and being born. Okay, let me go down to this. Because, yeah, Shalakia. Period, time, paradigm, okay. All right, it says, that said, there are periods in history when the entire paradigm you've been accustomed to living under changes rather abruptly and for good. So we know that when America is destroyed, that's going to change the whole paradigm of the world, because these merchants, they're not going to be able to profit off of America, okay? They're not going to be able to profit off the Babylonians anymore that buy anything and everything, okay, and live carelessly. It says a change of this nature alters the entire game on a global basis and happens perhaps once in a lifetime. That it says the last such shift happened during World War II, and we're living in the next one. And he's correct. We're living in the next paradigm shift. Okay. It says how big of a change this will represent in the context of human history remains unknown. No, it doesn't remain unknown, because we know that when America is destroyed, this is going to be the biggest destruction to ever hit the face of the earth. So big that the earth is going to reel to and fro. And the Lord is going to come back and make known who he's really with. Okay. And that he's not with you Edomites. All right. Human history remains unknown. But guess what? Let's go to real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah 16 and 14. Read that real quick, because this is what's going to be said once this thing take place. It's Jeremiah 16:14. It says, therefore behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So this is going to take place, man. This is a major paradigm shift that's going to happen. You're going to have a people taken from the land of the north and throughout the four corners of the earth where they were scattered and brought to the land that was promised of their fathers. All right. So that's going to be in the context of human history, that's going to be the greatest event that ever took place. All right. And the day of the Lord, as it is mentioned, it says there have never been a day, nor will there be after. All right. So that's the human history. Okay. The context of human history that we're coming into. All right. And it's going to be significant. It's going to be really, really big. It says, but we know it's big, really, really big. Yeah. Because that's going to be a big event. Here it is. You're going to have the so-called white man, Esau Edom. He's going to go down. He's going to go out of power. The big bad wolf. Okay. The big bad bully, Esau Edom. All right. His power structure is going to go down. Okay, and another is going to come into power. It says the most significant challenge most of us face when confronted with such a moment is to remain focused and emotionally stable during the transition. All right, but you Edomites, you're not going to be emotionally stable. Okay, you're not going to be focused. You're not going to be able to focus. You're gonna. Hey, look, this is what the scriptures say. Let's go to Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So somebody that comes down with great wrath, all right, he's not in a stable mind. Okay. All right. That person is not in a stable mind. Okay. And it's going to be a significant challenge for Esau Edom. because he's not going to have any stability. All right, great. What does it say in I brought this out in the last video I did. What is this? Job 18 and 11. This is Job 18:11. It says, terrorists shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. And who is the firstborn of death? That's Yahweh Shah. All right. It says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. And who is the king of terrors? That's the Most High. All right. So confidence, their confidence is going to be taken from them. Okay. Their strength is going to be hunger bitten. All right. There's a snare and a trap in the midst of them. Yep. So they're not going to be able to meet that challenge of confronting the moment that they're coming into. They're not going to be able to remain focused or be stable. All right. Nor, it's going to come a time. Matter of fact, let's go to real quick. No, I got a lot of these tabs up. Bear with me. Let's go to real quick. Perplexity. Yeah, this is Luke 21. And 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So you're going to have distress of nations, and the heads and the statesmen of these nations, okay, they're going to be in perplexity. They're going to be bewildered. All right, going back to the word bewildered, they're going to be bewildered. Okay, these heads of states that they tout, even Donald Trump, he's going to be bewildered. Okay, and all these politicians. All right. Okay, going back to the article. It's a lot in this article. I'm not going to even read this whole article. Let's jump in this article real quick. All right, let's see. Let's jump down to this paragraph real quick for time's sake. It says, the primary shift that's occurring in the U.S. empire has lost its ability to dictate all terms to all countries at all times. This capacity to dictate has been enforced via a two-pronged approach for decades. The prongs are global military dominance and control of the financial system. All right, so what comes to mind with that? Let's go to Habakkuk 2. And it's another one in Nahum. First, let's start with Nahum. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now the word for clay is a batyat, which means debt. Okay. And how does he increaseth that which is not his? Okay. He takes from these other nations. All right. He privatizes their what he does. He privatizes their natural resources. Okay. He uses his IMF and his World Bank, okay, to fund different projects and all types of wickedness that he does. And it's just, it's just, this is what he does, man. Okay. This capacity to dictate has been enforced via a two-pronged approach. He uses these two-pronged approaches. which is global military dominance and control of the financial system. So if he can't set up a central bank in your country to control your monetary system, he uses his military, okay? And he uses the America or Babylon the Great as the muscle, okay? But guess what? It's not working anymore. And this article goes into it. It says the first is threatened by the fact we've already entered a world in which it's easier to frustrate global empire than it is to maintain it. We've seen this manifest in numerous places over the course of the 21st century. The war in Afghanistan is an ongoing failure despite it being the longest conflict in U.S. history. And the Iraq war, based on fake news, resulted in the death of hundreds of thousands and merely strengthened Iran's position in the region. Meanwhile, U.S. regime change plans in Syria were thwarted despite the empire's best efforts, and Trump's deranged crew of neocons still can't even get rid of Maduro in Venezuela. It says, deny it all you want, but the geopolitical map has fundamentally changed. And that's part of these nations taking up that taunting proverb, okay? Habakkuk 2:7, it says, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake, that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwell therein. All right, because you're finished, man. This empire, okay, is finished. All right, it costs more to maintain an empire, okay, than it costs to oppose it, okay. And that's why you're seeing the decline that's taking place over here in Babylon the Great. This is 18 years and $1 trillion. This is where we're at. The U.S. stepped up its air campaign in Afghanistan while pushing for a peace deal with the Taliban, who now controls or influences more parts of the country than at any time since they were ousted in 2001. All right. Now let's go into the financial system aspect of it. Okay. It says, meanwhile, the financial system itself, a tremendous source of U.S. imperial power, is also fundamentally broken. The first major failure in this regard happened back on August 15th, 1971, when Richard Nixon closed the gold window. All right, so that 1971, when they got off the gold standard. It says, whether you believe, and that's around the time, okay, America started collapsing. Also around the time when they went up into space. All right. It says, whether you believe this was a primary contributor to many of the negative trends that emerged afterwards likely depends on your personal ideology, but it's undeniable that short after this event we started to see major ramp up in the financialization of everything, as well as stagnation in medium wage growth, a global buildup of financialization and fraud based financial products played a key role in bringing us to where we are today, and also culminated in the second major failure of the global financial system in 2008. So basically, after Esau took you off the gold standard, you started letting Wall Street and big business take over and basically set up frauds and all types of things that had negative consequences on the people. And therefore, we got to where we got in 2008. And now we're about to have a big collapse. Okay, you have derivatives, you have banks like Deutsche Bank and all of that. So we're dealing with a ticking time bomb. It says that was the most when serious reforms and severe consequences for the criminal perpetrators of economic collapse could have reset the system and brought the world back to a sustainable path. But we all know that's not what happened. Instead, the elites in charge of addressing the situation decided instead to temporarily prop up a broken system while ensuring they'd be the primary beneficiaries of the specific policies that supposedly save the economy. And that's how Esau does it. All right. You set up a transfer of wealth. Okay. So you can make more money instead of correcting the problem. You damn devils, man. All right. Let's go to, this is Psalm 64:5. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yeah, and in the advent of YouTube, you can go into the inner workings of what happened with Lehman Brothers and Goldman Sachs and all types of these back during the 2018 the 2008 crisis. Okay, you can go back to the .com bust, these bubbles that were created. Okay, you could go back to I believe it's the saving. It was a crash in like 1987. All right, these different failures, these different economic bubbles that bust. Okay, you can go back to it, and basically you get a perspective from the people that were inside, from the insiders. That's a part of the Most High making their own tongue fall upon them. A lot of documentaries have been done. Okay, even a documentary called what is it called? It's called I forgot what it's called. It's called the Apostle Kabar goes into it. Give me 1 second. It's called, what is that documentary called? Oh man, can't think of it right now, but I have it right here. It's called The Capitalist Conspiracy. Okay, that was part of the Most High making their own tongue to fall upon him. All right, so let's go back real quick. Let's go back to the article. It says that was the moment when serious reforms and severe consequences for the criminal perpetuators of economic collapse could have reset the system and brought the world back to a sustainable path. But we all know that's not what happened. Instead, the elites in charge of addressing the situation decided instead to temporarily prop up a broken system while ensuring they be the primary beneficiaries of the specific policies that supposedly saved the economy. In fact, nothing was saved. A dead system was put on life support while our self-proclaimed heroic elite grabbed everything not nailed down, a stealth crime spree that is going on to this day. Yet, guess who owns massive quantities of homes following the banker bailout? Private equity firms. Blackstone alone now owns 100,000 in the U.S. So after that crash, you had a company called Blackstone Realty. What they did was they were buying up houses, pennies on a dollar through these banks, all right, to prop up these banks and basically take those foreclosed properties off the books of the banks. All right, and now they rent them out to people at high prices, causing rental rates to go up. And wages are stagnant in America, and people are being squeezed. All right, so you have multiple attacks on the poor. All right, that's affecting the quality of life and bringing more crime, bringing more, and it goes into it. It goes into it real quick. It says the consequences of past actions, the consequences of past actions, and the imminent failure of a global paradigm that's dominated human existence for decades can no longer be delayed. They're coming to the fore. It says they're coming to the fore as I write this, and yet all the media and most people can focus on are the symptoms of failure. Past events lead to future events, and there are in fact consequences for irresponsible actions. The various things people panic about on a daily basis are typical symptoms that can be tracked back to a microsystem failure, but nobody wants to talk about that. It's too big, too daunting, and seemingly impossible to fix absent collapse. Now, I can take that previous statement and let me go to real quick to Ecclesiastes 8:11. Now it says this is Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Okay, because they keep on doing this wickedness, all right, and they keep on doing it, all right. Nothing happens, all right. You had bankers, okay, doing all types of fraud, and they were never held accountable for it. Okay, they were never held accountable for it, but they keep on doing it. Okay. Also, there's another scripture that says, "The Most High requireth that which is past." All right. So all of this stuff is just the build up, all right, to the hell that's to get ready to come. All right, to the great collapse of Babylon the Great and the implementation of the mark of the beast. This is all created, all right, for that, and to get the people accustomed to accepting the solution that Esau is going to set up. All right, but with that, I'm going to stop. Let me see if I have some more scriptures to bring out. Real quick. This is this is Micah 2:1. I'm gonna end it here. Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay, and they do this through their financial and through their military. Okay, but with that, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honesty, elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Until the next episode, Shalom.